Today, I'm going to reveal the 3 clearest signs a woman shows when the spark of desire is already lit inside her. But you must stay with me until the third one, because the third signal is the one that happens quietly. It happens in public. It happens in groups. It happens right under your nose. And almost no man recognizes it in time, which means most men miss the moment. Not because they lack value, not because they lack charm, but because nobody ever taught them how female desire actually communicates. Welcome to Dr. Elena Hart, Sexual Health and Wellness. I'm Dr. Elena Hart, and today, you're going to understand something that will change how you interpret every interaction from this moment forward. If you've ever walked away from a conversation later thinking, was she flirting with me? Did I miss something? Was that interest? Or was I imagining it? You weren't imagining it. You were just missing the language. And here's the truth. Female desire does not operate like male desire. A man feels attraction. He moves toward it. Directly. A woman feels attraction. And she calibrates. She tests. She creates context. She opens subtle doors. But she rarely walks through them alone. She waits to see if you notice. And that difference changes everything. Evolutionary psychology helps explain why. For thousands of years, women had greater biological risk attached to intimacy, pregnancy, protection, survival. That biological caution is still embedded in the subconscious nervous system today, so when desire activates in her body, it does not explode outward. It signals carefully, quietly, strategically, not because she's manipulative, but because her brain is wired to assess before committing, which means if you don't understand the signals, you'll stand there smiling politely while the opportunity fades. Today, I'm going to show you 3 of the clearest signals. These are not pickup tricks. These are neurological responses. These are behavioral patterns studied in nonverbal psychology, attachment theory, and evolutionary behavior. Let's begin. Signal number 1, she touches you without needing to. Now listen carefully. Touch alone does not equal desire. Context matters. Frequency matters. Duration matters. Quality matters. Here's what you're looking for. She initiates contact without functional necessity. She doesn't need to touch your arm to make a point. She doesn't need to adjust your jacket. She doesn't need to lightly tap your chest while laughing. But she does. Why? Because when desire activates, proximity feels good. The nervous system wants confirmation. It wants to close physical space. Neuroscience calls this initiated affiliative contact. When someone feels attraction, their brain releases dopamine and oxytocin. The body begins seeking reinforcement of that pleasant stimulus, which is you. But here's the critical detail most men miss. She doesn't immediately pull away. The contact lingers. Just 1 second longer than socially required. That extra second, that's the signal. That's not accidental. That's her nervous system saying, I like this connection. Now let's go deeper. There are 3 types of desire-based touch. The playful touch, the reassuring touch, and the testing touch. The playful touch happens during laughter. She nudges you. She lightly pushes your shoulder. But instead of retracting instantly, her hand softens before leaving. The reassuring touch happens during emotional moments. If you say something slightly vulnerable, she might place her hand on yours briefly. This is bonding behavior. The testing touch is the most powerful. She brushes against you accidentally. Or she touches your forearm during conversation and watches your reaction. She's not just touching you. She's measuring your energy. Are you comfortable? Do you lean in? Do you freeze? Do you overreact? Your response determines whether she escalates. Here is the mistake most men make. They either ignore the touch completely, or they over-amplify it. Both kill the moment. The correct response is calm acknowledgement, slight smile, sustained eye contact, steady body language. You don't flinch. You don't grab back immediately. You allow the energy to sit. Confidence keeps the spark alive. Now here's something powerful. When a woman initiates touch multiple times within a short window of interaction, the probability of attraction is extremely high, especially if she maintains physical proximity afterward. Desire seeks closeness. Indifference seeks distance. Remember that. Signal number 2, her gaze changes. Eye contact is the most underappreciated desire signal, and it is deeply biological. When attraction activates, the autonomic nervous system shifts. Pupils dilate slightly, not dramatically, but subtly. Dilated pupils indicate interest and arousal. You cannot fake this easily, it's involuntary. But beyond dilation, look at duration. Socially neutral eye contact lasts about 3 to 5 seconds. When she feels desire, that increases. She holds your gaze slightly longer, and then something important happens. She breaks eye contact downward, not sideways, downward. This downward glance is significant. In nonverbal behavioral research, downward gaze following sustained eye contact often signals receptivity and softening. It's a micro-expression of openness. Then she looks back up. This is a loop. Eye contact. Soft smile. Downward glance. Return eye contact. That loop means she's emotionally engaged. She's not just listening. She's feeling. Now here's where men misread things. If she maintains eye contact but her body is angled away and her feet point elsewhere, interest may be social, not romantic. But if her torso faces you, if her feet align with you, if her shoulders square towards you, that's alignment. And alignment indicates focus. The body rarely lies. The brain can filter words, but posture reveals attention. Another subtle cue, when she looks at you while you're not speaking. If you catch her watching you during group conversation, and she looks away quickly when you notice, that's curiosity. Curiosity is the beginning of desire. She's studying you, she's processing you, she's deciding. Here's what you must understand. A woman who is indifferent rarely sustains eye contact. She scans the room, she checks her phone, her gaze wanders. But when desire is active, her attention narrows, and attention is the currency of attraction. When she gives you focused visual energy, something is happening internally. Now the critical part. How you respond determines whether the spark grows. If you break eye contact nervously, you communicate uncertainty. If you stare aggressively, you create discomfort. The balance is calm, steadiness. Meet her gaze, hold it, soft smile, then continue speaking normally. That steadiness builds tension. Tension fuels desire. We are just warming up. Because the third signal is even more powerful, and most men miss it completely. Signal number 3, she creates privacy where there was none. This is the quiet invitation. This is the doorway. And if you miss it, the energy fades. Here's what it looks like. You're in a group setting, friends around, music playing, conversation flowing, and suddenly she says, "Come here, I want to show you something," or "Let's grab a drink," or "Wait, tell me that again," and she steps slightly away from the group. She lowers her voice. She reduces the social field. That is not random. That is strategic nervous system behavior. Before physical intimacy, a woman seeks emotional and environmental safety. Privacy creates safety. Safety allows escalation. Desire needs a container. And when she creates that container, she's testing whether you step into it confidently. Now understand this clearly. She's not isolating you because she's bored. She is isolating you because your presence feels different. And she wants to explore that difference without external pressure. This is called micro-isolation, and it is one of the strongest precursors to attraction escalation. You will notice subtle shifts. She stands closer than before. Her voice becomes softer. Her questions become more personal. She may ask about your past relationships, your ambitions, your fears. This is not casual curiosity. This is emotional probing. She's evaluating compatibility and chemistry at the same time. Now here's where most men fail. They either become overly intense or become overly passive. Overly intense looks like this: suddenly increasing sexual tone, touching too quickly, speaking too loudly, breaking the softness of the moment. Overly passive looks like this: nervous laughter, over-talking, filling silence with random stories, missing the emotional depth she just created. The correct response: presence. Slow down. Lower your voice slightly to match hers. Maintain relaxed eye contact. Let silence exist. Silence builds tension, and tension builds desire. If she moved you into privacy, she already feels something. Your job is not to force it forward. Your job is to not collapse under it. Now let's go deeper into why this matters so much. Human beings escalate intimacy in layers: public, semi-private, private. When she moves you from public to semi-private, she's testing progression. If you respond confidently, she moves further. If you hesitate or overreact, she pulls back. It's not conscious calculation. It's emotional safety calibration. And here's something powerful. When a woman creates privacy and maintains proximity, the probability of desire being active is extremely high, because isolation without interest feels uncomfortable, but isolation with attraction feels magnetic. Now let me give you something advanced. Watch for triangulation reduction. If she was previously engaged with multiple people but gradually focuses only on you, reducing attention to others, that narrowing of social focus indicates preference. Preference indicates desire. Now let's address the internal shift you must make. Most men operate from outcome anxiety. They think, is she into me? Should I make a move? What if I misread this? That anxious energy leaks, and anxiety breaks attraction. Instead, shift your mindset to this. If she's creating space, I will explore it calmly. You don't chase signals. You respond to them. That is power. Now let's connect all three signals together. Touch without necessity. Sustained softening eye contact. Intentional privacy creation. When these happen together within a short window of time, you are not guessing anymore. You are observing active desire, but here is where emotional intelligence separates average men from magnetic men. Recognizing signals is step 1, responding correctly is step 2, and responding correctly is about emotional regulation. If you become overly excited internally, your body tightens, your speech speeds up, your breathing shifts. She feels that shift, and her nervous system recalibrates. Desire thrives in calm tension, not chaotic energy. So here is your framework when you detect these signals. Step 1, slow yourself down. Step 2, match her pace. Step 3, escalate gently, not abruptly. For example, if she touches your arm, you can later lightly guide her by the lower back when walking. If she holds eye contact longer, you hold it equally. Then smile slightly. If she creates privacy, you step closer by inches, not feet. Attraction builds in increments, not leaps, and the men who understand increments win consistently. Now let's address something important. Not every woman expresses desire identically. Cultural background matters, attachment style matters, personality matters. Anxious attachment may show desire more intensely. Avoidant attachment may show it subtly, but biology remains consistent. Proximity, attention, touch, isolation. These are universal precursors. Now let's talk about timing. Many men wait too long. They recognize interest, but they hesitate to respond. And desire has a window. That window can close. If she initiates multiple signals and you remain neutral, her brain reinterprets. Maybe he's not interested. Maybe I misread him. And she pulls back to protect herself. Desire requires reciprocity, not aggression. Reciprocity. You don't need to dominate. You need to participate. Now here's the deeper psychological truth. When a woman shows desire first, even subtly, she is being vulnerable. And vulnerability needs safety. If you shame it, rush it, or ignore it, she withdraws. If you meet it calmly, she expands it. This is why confidence is not loud. It is steady. It is grounded. It is emotionally controlled. Let's go even deeper. There is a fourth hidden layer beneath these three signals, and it's emotional mirroring. If she begins matching your tone, your posture, your speech rhythm, your humor, that synchronization indicates subconscious alignment. Alignment builds bonding. Bonding builds desire. The body aligns before the mind admits attraction. Always remember that. Now I want to correct a dangerous misconception. Desire signals do not equal entitlement. Just because she shows signs does not mean you push beyond comfort. Attraction is an invitation, not a guarantee. The difference between confidence and arrogance is respect, and respect sustains attraction long-term. Now imagine this scenario. You're at a gathering. She laughs at your comment, touches your arm, holds eye contact, then says quietly, "Let's step outside for some air." If you recognize what's happening, your energy remains stable. You walk beside her, not ahead. You let silence exist for a moment. You look at her. She looks back. And the tension builds naturally. That is how chemistry unfolds. Not through scripted lines, through calibrated awareness. Most men lose opportunities because they look for dramatic signs, clear verbal invitations, obvious flirting, but female desire whispers. It does not shout, and once you learn to hear whispers, you stop missing moments. Soft smile, then continue speaking normally. That steadiness builds tension. Tension fuels desire. We are just warming up. Because the third signal is even more powerful, and most men miss it completely.